Good evening, Sword family, and welcome to the Teahouse. Since my last episode, 2 weeks ago now, seems kind of odd to say that, but I did my Armored Rose review. And while I wasn't exactly thrilled with the book, it still was a 6.5 out of 10. So, not great, but not terrible. And I do have to warn everyone that we have some fairly significant wind right now, so that might play havoc with my internet. We'll see how it holds out, but hopefully it will behave for the most part. Anyway, last time I did my Armored Rose review. This time, I'm going to be doing a different review of a Chinese manual. Now, before I actually get into this, I have to stress something. And that is that the Armored Rose was a modern, what's the word? It's not important, but the Armored Rose was not exactly a fighting manual per se, as much as it was a primer on how women think and how women fight. This is an actual Chinese military fighting manual. So it's not going to be the same kind of thing. It's not going to be telling you about psychology or science or any of the things that the Armored Rose spoke about. This is just going to be straight out. This is how you use a Chinese sword. So I do not know if this will take me the entire hour or if I'm going to have to stretch it out a little bit. So we will see. And yes, I'm still dealing with this. At this point, I'm honestly wondering if this is just going to be my life from this point on, because it has been since December. Maybe once the weather finally consistently warms up, because the last 3 days have been kind of cold again. We're back into the 30s and 40s, where last week we were in the 50s. Maybe once it's consistently warm again, maybe this crap will clear up. We'll see. Also, I want to thank everyone who watched my Casting the Fisherman's Rod video from last Saturday. It took me 3 days to get it all edited and posted to my YouTube channel. But I filmed it right here in my living room last Saturday instead of my usual stream. I just filmed that video and then edits and all that fun stuff I have another one that I'm planning on filming. I just need to find time. I was going to do it Thursday morning, and then that didn't work. And I kind of realized that now, of course, this was before the stupid time change last Sunday, which I'm still dealing with. I'm not used to it being this bright when I'm doing my shows. The sun doesn't set until like 7:30 in the evening. So I think I realized that, the amount of sun that I had when I was filming that video was not the greatest. So, from now on, I might either try and do them earlier in the day or later in the evening after the sun sets, because I had to really, really mess when I was editing with the lighting to try and actually get it to a point where you could see what was going on, but it also wasn't being completely washed out by all sun. So, yeah. But I have another one that I'm planning on filming at some point, and I'll give you a little taste. It's about this. This is Lu Jitian, one of my white waxwood staffs. And I will say that it was brought about because I went back and rewatched my first Tea Time interview with Trey. So make of that what you will. So, as always, before we get started, I'm going to go through my comments. There we go. Look at that. And I hope everyone notices the new font that we're using here. This is a new StreamYard thing that I discovered earlier this week at some point. Some of them are just painful on the eyes, but I actually kind of like this one. This one, to me, it just kind of feels like it fits in with the overall theme. So this is what we're going to be going with from now on. But yeah. And first through the door at 5:01 was Foxy. Good evening, all, and welcome to the Teahouse. Yes. Welcome in, everyone. Grab a seat at the bar. Take your teapots and various other drinking vessels. And Carl is joining us. Good evening, Foxy. Good evening, Carl. Foxy is being dogged. He's extra cuddly. He's always extra cuddly. I'm sure the people who actually watched that Casting the Fisherman's Rod video noticed he was always right there. Yeah, he is a big lap puppy. That's true. Certainly was lovey last night. Yeah. Like that a lot. He's a sweet pup. Just a whole lot of it. Yeah. Got to run down the hall before the show. Yeah, you had time. We were still 16 minutes. And there's the person I was just referencing, Trey. Good evening. And greetings. And greetings. And here's the reminder, don't forget to like and share. Thank you. Yep. 10 minutes before the show even started, too. That's pretty good, yeah. Also beat Donna. Yeah, I haven't seen Donna yet. Happens sometimes, it does. She won't be upset. I hope not. And there's my kitty greeting everyone. Hello, kitten. And greetings for kitty. And there's Donna. Hey, y'all. Hello, Donna. I know I said this, and I know I've said this several times, but every single time I have to stop myself from singing the song from La Bamba. Not like I'm, actually monetized or anything on this channel anyway, so it probably wouldn't affect me, but I still have to fight myself not to do it. And one of these days I'm going to do it. And you're all going to have to cover your ears because whatever. And Foxy greeting Kitty, and Foxy greeting Donna, and Carl greeting Donna, and there's Ruby. Hello, Ruby. Glad to see you here too. And more greetings from Trey. Don't mind at all if someone else says it, as long as it gets said. These hosts forget to say it. Yes, we do. It's true. We're bad about it, It's getting to the point where I almost put it on to the end when I record videos because I think about it. But other than that, yeah, it almost always is someone in the chat saying it instead of me. Foxy greeting Ruby, and Carl greeting Ruby, and shame on them, right, Donna? Yeah. Shame on us, whatever. And Donna agreeing. Trey says, LOL, the hosts are always thinking about other things. This is true. This is very true. I'm keeping an eye on the little thing up here in the corner, right about there, that shows my Wi-Fi signal, how many people are watching, the time that went by. Just so much that I just don't even think about. Don't forget to like and share. Yeah. Foxy says, generally when I'm on, I'm not thinking much. Yeah. Concentrating on what I'm doing, yes, but actual thought, very little, yeah. And for the people who might be watching this in the future, don't forget to check out the Independent Creator Directory website, which is indiecd.org, and also the Independent Creator Directory YouTube channel. On Monday, the 24th, we will be doing a collaboration stream with Sisters of the Hook, which I'm very much looking forward to. And I'm going to be remaking, if I can actually get it out. Hush. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. I'm going to be remaking this. This is my personal journal. It was the very first one that was ever made. And it has some issues. The binding is way too far. It puts a lot of pressure on the pages. The ink, the wax seal is not great. So for that show, I'll be remaking my journal. And I realize that probably won't take very long, but I can also just, hang out and chat with people. So that will be on the 24th. Is this thing on? Yeah. Testing. Which is why Donna tries to help, and we appreciate it very, very much. That night I had no sound. No, you had sound. It just wasn't going through the television. It was going through the HDMI cord onto the television. Somehow, and I still have no idea how, the sound had switched from the computer to my television. I have no idea how it happened, but yeah. 1, 2, 3. What comes after 3? Well, if you read my Facebook post from yesterday, you know what comes after 3. But that was very much a not safe for work kind of post. So, yeah. So many fun things that can happen. Yeah, you're not kidding. This thing recording. Okay, don't tell Dan I said that. Well, yeah. Very appreciated, Donna. This is true. Hashtag always promote. Yeah. And greeting for me. So, yeah, there we are. 5:31. Nice. Might need a curtain on that window for a stream for the summer. Well, I could pull the blinds down, but it would be annoying because they don't actually want to come down. There. Is that better? Where's my chair? Now, see, this to me feels too dark, but we'll leave it up to you guys, what you guys think. Should we leave it like this? Should I have a little bit more light? Whatever. And another greeting for me. Hello, Aunt Donna. Did that last summer. Well, I did this. I pulled the blinds down. But I usually did it before the show started, so. And Sarah is joining us. Good evening. Hello, Sarah. It's good to see you. Dog. And Carl greeting Sarah. And Foxy. And Donna. And Trey. Lots and lots of greetings because everyone loves Sarah. Sarah greeting back. Could be some sinus or allergy affecting your throat. It could be. But it's, like I said, it's been like this since before Christmas. So, I have no idea. Very informative video. Thank you. I'm glad that at least someone got something out of it. Whatever it is, it's had us both in its grip since like December. Yeah, it was before Christmas. Trey said it before me. It was a good video. Thank you. Could be some post-nasal drip going down the throat. Nope. Sinuses are completely dry. Good point, Dark Pope. I can see feeling like it will never stop for 3. Yeah. Still can't laugh without a coughing fit. Can't really sing either. Can't laugh, can't sing. Can't make other noises. Yeah. Awful. Yeah, I know. Especially around this group. You're not wrong. I'm sure that the people who paid attention on my casting the fisherman's rod video, you heard my voice breaking twice, maybe 3 times in the, 15 minutes of the original recording. Come on. There we go. I think I filmed that Monday or Tuesday night. So, yeah. Fancy font. I know, right? I wonder if I can play with him while we're Yeah. You saying this group is something to laugh at, Foxy? Well, laugh with, at, around, you know. Fancy but readable. Yes. There are a couple that I have trouble reading. They're just, yeah. Almost matches the font on the front of the Teahouse shirt. Yep. Oz to Inigo. Yep. I didn't even realize that, but yeah, that's pretty lucky. Forehead kisses and ear scritches. Well, someone else is going to have to take care of that right now because I'm here. Currently wearing the shirts, I was able to look down and check. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm definitely sticking with this font then. And there is one of my patrons, Joe Bachman, sliding in late. How dare you? 50 lashes. Get to it, Trey. And greetings for Joe, and no worries, yeah. Wonder if Dawn is going to be dropped by. I don't know. Need a new set of blinds or curtains on that window? Yeah, we do. And Inigo stream bombs. Oh, he's just co-hosting. Love you guys too, yeah. Do see and love your font. Been on a separate tab for a bit. That's fine. No worries. I will resume in a moment, which I did, yes. Don't threaten Joe with a good time. Well, you know, everyone's got their quirks. I use that word when I'm in polite company because we're now almost 25 minutes into the stream. I think I can actually say this. When I'm in certain groups of people, like when I said it yesterday during Nevermind the Furthermore, I use the word quirks as a stand-in word for kinks. So yeah, now everyone knows that. Whenever I use that word, now you know what I'm saying. Yeah. All right, so as I said, ancient art of Chinese long straight sword. An English translation and interpretation of a 400-year-old military manual. So this is not a, well, I actually have one right here. This is a form. This is literally the Yang 32 Jian form. So this is going to be teaching you an actual form. It's going to go through each movement, not moment, step by step, and describe it. That is not what this is. This is telling you how to fight with a sword. So a little bit different. Oh, okay. Sarah says, what is the name of that font, or is it a special one? I missed that part. I want to change it for this to go. Well, I think, now, I'm not 100% sure, but most of the fonts that I have seen are actual like fonts you can go out and find if they're not preloaded on your computer. Because now, hopefully this won't screw us up, but I am now in the style section of StreamYard, and if I come down here, this I have used in Microsoft Clipchamp, so I'm fairly certain that this is an actual font that you can go out and find if it's not preloaded, and it is called, I'm going to put it in the chat here so that everyone can see it. It is called Amita, A-M-I-T-A. So no, I don't think it's just StreamYard. I think it's an actual font that you can go out and find. If you want to have it, I'm pretty sure it's like out there. I think Puppy is whining just to whine. Might be out there on other things. I think it is. Going to play around with settings for font options, and that's good. Used to have similar font for text on the phone, and the text prompt got updated, and it's no longer available. Yeah. I remember when I could add a background to my text messages so you didn't get just the boring little black and white garbage that you can have here. You could actually have picture backgrounds, which were awesome. Can update things on here, but I'll look. Oh, good. Playtime, I'm sure it is. So this book, and I actually should have brought this up beforehand. I know I'm such a professional. But I brought this up before. But this book is by Jack Chen from ChineseLongsword.com, which I find very interesting because that's the exact same name as my old Shifu. So when I saw that name, I kind of had to do a double take. Like, did he write these books? But no. It is this website right here. He does reproductions and translations of Chinese military and martial art manuals. You have the long saber, the straight sword, da dao, spear, staff, halberd, spear. Most of these are reproductions. But with this one, you get an actual translation and interpretations. And the very, very beginning, cool of the author. This is probably the fourth of his that I bought. All of the rest of them are the reproductions. And I'll bring that up in a second. But, you know, the very beginning talks about the jian, the straight sword. Next, you get a song that you can sing about the jian. And puppy. Hello, puppy. You cannot chew on my keyboard. Well, you know, for a good playtime call. Yeah, well, there's not enough. There's not enough numbers, unless that's like an international call, which please don't. Yes, hello, Inigo. And the song inside is going to mention, like right here. I don't know if you can actually see that. This bold part right here, that is one of the movements within the book. So, you know, sky full of flying snow. That's what this one right here is. And then you can go to your table of contents and you look up sky full of flying snow. And come on. You'll get a page, and this is the scan of the original page right there. And you can read about that stance or that movement. Now, like I said, this is not a form. This is just showing you different sword moves, and it will tell you. We'll go back to this one. And this is very true. Their martial art moves are always so elegantly named. Yes, they are. So cool for the original brought to the present, which is why I love this book. We have the left wing stance. And here is the original manual page. And up here is the description, which is over here. Right here. This shows you the Chinese lines, what they mean, and then a description or an interpretation over here. So I'm just going to read this one to you. The left wing stance. 着也是知之着，一之业. The left wing stance is also called the left wing strike. 法能上挑下压之下互扩. This technique can flick upwards, plus downwards, and kill straight into the tiger's den. The tiger's den is a part of the body. 右脚右手指腹上属是. Right leg, right hand, royal courier delivers message stance. 向前却不能立此卡饭. Step forward fast into reverse scale thrust. Then you go to the next page, and that's going to give you the explanation of what all of that means. And right here, because it tells you, kill straight into the tiger's den. Well, right here, it says, tiger's den refers to the area between the thumb and index finger as highlighted in the above picture. So this spot right here, that's the tiger's den. This is what you're aiming for with this stance. Now, another thing to consider is this originally looked like this. This is the Shaolin staff manual from that same website. This was the first one that I bought, and also this was the motivation for my own journals. This right here. And inside are scans of the original manual pages. You have chops, which are these right here. Those are basically signatures. And then we have a footwork diagram. And that goes on for a few pages. You have descriptions of different weapons. And then you have the actual movements. This is the, like I said, the staff manual. So you're going to see a staff in every picture. With this, you're going to see the Jian with every picture. But when you go to the explanations, sometimes you're going to see a staff. Now, why would you do that? Why would you show a staff in a sword manual? Because the staff is the grandfather of all weapons in Chinese martial arts. The staff is the basis for all martial art weapon practice. The first weapon that I teach any student is staff. Because most of the things that you're going to do with a sword, a spear, quan dao, they come from staff movements. So there will be times in your explanation that you're going to see, focus, come on, you're going to see a staff. And this is not one of those manuals that says, you know, if you do this, or if your opponent does this, then you do this. That's not what this is telling you. When it gets to an explanation like that, it's not saying that, you know, if your opponent has a spear and they attack over your shoulder, like you can see, I hope you can see, then you do the flat stomach stance. No. It's using that one spear move to explain smooth drawings for smooth movements. Yes. It's doing that to explain what the move is meant to accomplish. It's not a, if your opponent attacks here, then you do this one attack. No, it's saying that if your opponent attacks with a spear over your left shoulder, and you have this, then you can, that's the key word here, can use this movement to redirect and then you can have your own attack. It's not an if-then. I despise if-then manuals. I despise people saying, if the opponent does this, then you do that. Because that's not how fights actually work. You can study those things as much or as little as you want, because when it comes to actually using this weapon, or using any weapon, or using your fists, or using your feet, when you're in actual combat, you're not thinking those things. You're not thinking, oh, they did a, straight jab to my face, so I need to duck, and then I need to grab, and then I need to come up under. You're not thinking that way. So I hate if-then manuals. But this is not an if-then. This is a, here is this sword movement. Now, to explain this sword movement, we're going to give you this scenario. There's actually one of those at the very beginning. Yeah. If your opponent comes at you with an award like that one historical fight. That was Miyamoto Musashi and Sasaki. I should know this. I know it. I can't. Yeah. Yeah, after showing up late. Yeah, that was Musashi. But here you go. The very first stance. Raise Cauldron. The Raise Cauldron stance is the raise top block. This technique can block an attack from the top, very much like the casting the Fisherman's Rod. Left leg, right hand, flat platform stance. Make a fast mid-region attack forward, retreat step, and swipe skirt. So, here you have explanation. Observably, this stance is used for blocking a downward attack. Based on the third verse from the Sword Song, it is performed by positioning the left leg and right hand forward, and the sword is held horizontally flat, or as horizontal as you can get it, with different kinds of fists. However, you will be receiving the full blunt impact if your sword is blocking the enemies perpendicularly, so the block should only be for a split second. Because the fourth verse says you must swiftly cut or attack the enemy's midsection, which is now exposed. So you go to the next page, and you're going to get a scenario. Suppose that you're in a sword fight and you are holding your sword in front of you, which is how most people want to fight. You want to have your sword in front. Seems kind of obvious. Like in number 1 above, which is right here. The sword is in front, facing the enemy. To cut the enemy, you'd raise up your sword, like in 2. Again, right here. There's your block. Then cut down and end up in 3. Right over here. So, we're going to do a little demonstration. So you have your sword in front. There's your number 1. Then you're going to step forward and block. Now, okay, there's your 1. There's your 2. There's your 2. Again, I can't do this because I have female fists and wrists, and my fingers want to go at an angle anyway. So there's your 2, and then you're going to step forward again to cut, and there's your 3. So 1, 2, 3. That's not an if-then. That's not a if your opponent attacks overhead, you have to do this move. It's just a you can do this. You can move like this. If then was the way it would work, both fighters would know the entire fight. Basically, that would be frustrating. Yes. And Musashi was awesome. Musashi was, he's an insane fighter. Only know about that fight because of puppet history. Well, then it's now a fight. Now, then it's not a fight. It's choreography. You're right. Recognize those moves, and with the fingers and hands the way they are and one not holding the sword. Yeah, this, you're going to see this a lot with get your mind out of the gutter. Stop it. I know what all you're thinking. Stop. This is called sword fingers. Yes, I know. But this is your second hand. You're going to see a lot of guarding the center. More puppy, yeah. Or pointing with the fingers. You're going to see that a lot in Chinese martial arts, in Chinese Jian. But we have another scenario. Now imagine you're B in the depicted scenario. What do you think will happen? As you raise up your sword in stage 2, you'll be swiftly cut down by A. You won't have the chance to reach stage 3. This depiction here. The above is a better way, not only in actual fight, but also in practice. Instead of just raising up your sword directly to make a cut, you raise your sword up to raise cauldron instead. So instead of the angle, you have the flat. This will help to keep you safe as you prepare to cut down. The footwork is synchronized with the sword too. At stage 1, you have your right leg forward. At stage 2, you walk forward with the left leg. At stage 3, you walk forward again with your right leg to cut down. So it's giving you one scenario where this could happen, but it's not saying it will happen or it must And we're back. Going to, oh, yeah, gutter. Yeah. Seen that and didn't know until you were doing the exact same. And here's the thing. You're only going to see that in Jian forms. When you see Dao forms, it's going to be flat palm. It's going to be this instead of this. You'll see this or this or this, but this will only show up in Jian forms. Hello, TwitchBot. Go away, please. Educational. Yeah, I try to be. Yeah, I know. It's annoying, but a lot of the time the house would spontaneously just start doing these things, and it was just a way of the household kind of observation. Yeah. Now, you're not always going to see that scenario. Here is the leopard head stance. And then you get the explanation with staff again. It even tells you split mountain staff from the Shaolin staff manual, which, as I said, is this. Even if you cannot read Chinese, you can go through this and compare it over here, which I have done several times. But there's no scenario. It just goes to the next stance. Didn't always see what you did, but definitely recognized. I would hope so. I have suggested that Trey read and review this book. I would love to see what she thinks, because I've only ever seen, I will one day learn how to speak, other Chinese martial artists talking about this book. So I would very much love to see what she thought of it. But it goes through all of your stances. Excuse me. And then you get to the end, and you have a short section about different kinds of Jian. It's very short. You get about the author, not this author, but the author of the sword manual. You get to learn about him. General in the Ming Dynasty. Authored the military preparation manual, and it was published in 1621. And then, this is my favorite section, because this, I know I said at the beginning that this is not teaching you a form, which it's not. But this section tells you how to make one out of it. It tells you how to make a form or link up the stances that you learned previously in the book. It'll tell you, the first step is to draw your sword. So it's telling you to start with your sword not drawn in the sheath. Start by drawing your sword. And this, I don't know how well this is going to come across. Focus. Come on. Come on. This in his hand, that's not a sword. That is a Chinese straight mace, a sword breaker. see if I can find one and show you what I'm talking about. No, not a melon hammer. There we go. Go share screen again. There you go. This is a pair of Chinese straight maces. Now we come over here. And share this one. That is a Chinese melon hammer. That's the first thing it brought up when you search for Chinese mace. So you had to be kind of specific. But that is a straight mace or a sword breaker. That's what he's holding right there. And then it tells you, start with the raised cauldron stance, step forward and cut into the second, step forward left leg and thrust simultaneously, then spin around while cutting horizontally, ending in the left wing. Teaches you how to combine the moves that you learned throughout this book into a form. Now, like I said, I know that I said this is not a form book because it's not. But at the end, it teaches you how to make one, how to create one out of what you learned. And then it's going to tell you at the end to resheath the sword and complete the form. So it tells you to start with your sword sheathed and to end by sheathing the sword. It is really, really an awesome section, I think. And then you're going to get a reference point for other manuals that it brings up throughout the book, including the Jianjing, which I also have, which is more like this. At least it's bound this way, which anyone who's never picked up a Chinese manual, this is a Western book. Binding on the left side, front cover, back cover. This is an Asian style book. Binding is on the right side, front cover, back cover. So the Jianjing is also a translation book, but it's bound like this, which I might actually do a second review just of that book, because if you go on to, we're going to go back here, theChineseLongsword.com, and we go to the Jianjing. This, to me, if you're going to learn Jian, this book is a must for you because it is a book, actually, it is a section of a book written by Yu Dayou, which is a famous Chinese general, studied martial arts at the Shaolin Temple, and later compiled the Zhongqi Tangji, the compilation of vital energy. And in that book is a section called Jianjing, or the Sword Treatise. Again, it is a military sword manual. If you're going to learn the Jian, I think you need to read the Jianjing. Now, the problem is this book wasn't terribly expensive. I think it was like $20. This was maybe $24. The Jianjing is like $50, $60. So that might not be a lot of money to a lot of people, but to other people like me, that was a fair bit of change to put down on a book. Now, I got lucky, and someone bought it for me for Christmas a couple of years ago. But if you're going to learn the Jian, pick up the Jianjing. Pick up this book. And now we're over an hour, and I honestly didn't think that we were going to make it to an hour. And there's still more things that I could say. But Sarah said she would recommend these books to her other brother from another mother, but I bet you anything they already have all the ones you do. I wouldn't be surprised. But if they don't, I'm going to put this in the chat here, just so you have a link. Learning more about them some years later kind of trippy. Why I don't know why I'm surprised. Yeah. And there's several books in there. There's even one that I have, which shows you how. I can even show you if we bring this back up. This one right here is a Japanese, written in 1848, full color manual on how to put on samurai armor. There are so many of these books that he has either just copied and bound and put out, or translated. I have, obviously, this one, this one, this one. I want to get this one. Don't have it yet. And this one. There might be one more that I'm not thinking of right now. But send it just in case. Good. All right. So we are over our hour. Trey, please pick up this book. Review this book. Well, pick up the book, read the book, then review the book. I want to see, and once you're done, let Nick borrow it. I want to see the same way that I read The Armored Rose. I want to see what Western fighters think of Chinese military sword manuals. I want to know opinions from outside sources. Now, I don't entirely know what I'm going to be doing next week. I have a package that's supposed to arrive on the 20th, hopefully. If it is what I think it is, or actually if it is what I hope it is, that will be the topic of conversation for next Saturday's show. But I have to wait to see if the package is what I think it is. If it's not what I hope it is, I will have to come up with something else to talk about. But I'm 90% sure that I have now had confirmation from my special guest that they will be coming on the 29th. Now, this is not someone from within this circle. This is someone that I went out and contacted in December, I want to say. They are a HEMA instructor from Canada. They are a fitness instructor. And just generally a good person that I think people here will enjoy hearing about and learning about. So watch out for that on the 29th. But other than that, thank you all for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting. Thank everyone who's going to watch this in the future. You can go to my DeviantArt at deviantart.com/bladedthesis, or check out my other links at indiecd.org/about-bladed-thesis. You can join the Sword family at patreon.com/bladedthesis. You can buy a shirt at bonfire.com/store/the-teahouse, or my latest link, you can check out my music at bladedthesis.bandcamp.com. Sarah sent the link. Good. If you hear anything, Sarah, wait. Do you think that there's any way that you can get this other person to get a hold of me and possibly be a guest on a future Teahouse show? I meant to ask you that. Do you think that there's any possibility of that happening? If not, I completely understand. This person doesn't know me. That's totally cool. But I would love to have a conversation with this person. So I just have to ask. Good show. Thank you. Good night. Later's all. Yes, I'm going to go and get me some dinner. It is still weird that the sun is still up, but possibly in an hour and a half, I might hop on Last Man Standing if the show actually, goes on, or I might not. I might have to give my voice a rest. But I will see you all next week. And 再见。